Assalamualaikum and hello to everyone. The subject integrated case study is taught by Dr. AZIATUL. Will instructed us to present a case study for the topic case study 3 for the topic Nobel design the founder strikes back. Okay, before I start my presentation, I would like to introduce my roommates. ZUHDI, myself Yohan, and DURGA. Case question 1. Okay, were Bert Chong's action justifiable? Discuss his action in terms of fiduciary duties as well as his action in response to being sued by the board for a breach of fiduciary duties. Okay, answer for this question would be Bert Chong's actions were justifiable in terms of his fiduciary duties. He breached his fiduciary duties by not disclosing his conflict of interest to the board and by not rescuing himself from voting on the matter. However, his actions were motivated by a desire to protect the company from a potential lawsuit, and he did not personally profit from the decision. In response to being sued by the board, Chong argued that he had acted in the best interest of the company and the board had failed to properly investigate the potential lawsuit. He also argued the board had acted in a bad faith by not informing him of the decision to sue him. Chong's actions were ultimately vindicated when the court ruled in his favor. The board's lawsuit against Chong was motivated by their fiduciary duties. The board had a duty to the shareholders to protect the company's assets, and they believed that Chong had put the company at risk by not disclosing his conflict of interest. The board also had a duty to act in a good faith, and they argued that Chong had not acted in a good faith by not informing them of his decision on vote on the matter. However, the court ultimately ruled in Chong's favor, finding that he had acted in the best interest of the company and that board had failed to properly investigate the potential lawsuit. In conclusion, Chong's actions were justifiable in terms of his fiduciary duties. He breached his fiduciary duties by not disclosing his conflict of interest to the board and by not rescuing himself from voting on the matter. However, his actions were motivated by a desire to protect the company from a potential lawsuit, and he did not personally profit from the decision. In response to being sued by the board, Chong argued that he had acted in the best interest of the company and the board had failed to properly investigate the potential lawsuit. He also argued that the board had acted in bad faith by not informing him of the decision to sue him. Chong's actions were ultimately vindicated when the court ruled in his favor. Case question 2. Who are responsible for ensuring the accuracy of the financial statements? Comment on the role of management, the AC, the board, and the external auditors. AC is indicating the audit committee. Okay. So answer for the case question 2 shall be as following. Okay. Audit committee, board of directors, and external auditors all have a role in ensuring the financial statement are accurate and complete. Financial statements are prepared by management and their accuracy is assured by the department in charge. As a result, the AC audit committee is tasked with making sure that the department in charge for the company financial reports are correct. The board of directors set the general tone of the business and ensure that the financial accounts are correct. It is the responsibility of the external auditors to ensure the financial statements are free from substantial mistakes. To ensure that the financial statements are correct, management is in charge for preparing and verifying them. As a result, the audit committee is tasked with make sure that the company financial report are correct. The board of directors sets the general tone of the business and ensure the financial accounts are correct. To ensure the financial statement are free of substantial mistake, the external auditor should or shall conduct an audit on the financial statements. Case question 3. Evaluate the company's communication with the stakeholders following the discovery of the financial statement discrepancy. Do you believe that the board response was adequate? Answer for case question 3 will be as follows. The board's response to the discovery of the financial statement discrepancy was not adequate. The board should have been more transparent with the stakeholders about the discrepancy and the steps that were being taken to address it. Instead, the board issued a statement which was vague and did not provide any concrete information about the situation. This lack of transparency led to mistrust and confusion among the stakeholders and ultimately damaged the credibility of the board. The board response also did not adequately address the root cause or the main cause of the discrepancy. The board blamed the discrepancy on a human error and said that steps would be taken to prevent this from happening again in the future. However, this explanation was not satisfactory and it failed to address the underlying issues that led to the error. As a result, stakeholders were left wondering whether the board was truly committed to addressing the issues led to the discrepancy. Thank you. I will pass my presentation to my fellow teammates. Thank you.
Case question 4. What were the remedial actions Nobel took in response to this crisis? Do you think that they are sufficient? What other actions do you recommend? Answer for case question 4. The first step that Nobel took in response to the crisis was to remove all of the contaminated products from the market. This was a necessary step in order to prevent any further injuries or illness from occurring. However, it was not enough to simply remove the products from the market. Nobel also needed to take steps to ensure that this type of incident would not happen again in the future. One of the steps that Nobel took was to improve the quality control, or known as QC procedure. This involved instituting more stringent testing procedures for all of their products. In addition, Nobel also implemented new procedure for the training their employees. This new procedure would ensure that all employees were properly trained in how to handle and use the products. Nobel also took steps to improve their communication with the public. This included issuing public apology and setting up a hotline for people to call if they had any questions or concerns. In addition, Nobel set up a website where people could find information about the recall and the steps that they needed to take in order to return the products. Overall, the remedial actions that Nobel took were significant. However, there are always room for improvement. In particular, Nobel should continue to improve their quality control procedures. In addition, they should continue to communicate openly and transparently with the public.
Okay, thank you, Yohan. Assalamualaikum and good evening. My name is AHMAD ZUHDI and I will be continuing with the case question 5. So the question for case question 5 is: evaluate the composition of the board and the AC. Do you think it could have contributed to the issues faced by the company, and what improvement to the corporate governance of Nobel of Nobel would you recommend? So to answer case question 5, the composition of the Nobel board and the AC may have contributed to the issues faced by the company. The board was made up of representatives from 3 main shareholders, which may have led to a conflict of interest. The AC was made up of representatives from the 2 largest shareholders, which may also have led to a conflict of interest. The board and the AC may have been too closely aligned with the interests of the shareholders and may not have been sufficiently independent. Next, the improvement to the corporate governance of Nobel would include increasing the independence of the board and the AC and ensuring that they are representative of all stakeholders. The board and the AC should be given more power to oversee the management of the company and to make decisions in the best interest of the company and also its stakeholders. And the shareholders should be given less power, and the interests of all stakeholders should be taken into account when making decisions about the company. We move to the case question 6. There has been a rise in shareholder activism. Explain the goals of shareholder activism. How effective were shareholder activists in ensuring that Nobel complied with a strict regulatory and corporate governance guideline? How can a company guard itself against these shareholder activists? In the case of Nobel, do you think that the shareholder activists were acting responsibly? So the answer is, the goals of shareholder activism are to improve corporate governance and to ensure that companies comply with a strict regulatory and corporate governance guidelines. Shareholder activists typically use a variety of tactics to achieve this goal, including media campaigns, shareholder resolution, and proxy fight. In the case of Nobel, shareholder activists were successful in ensuring that the company complied with the strict regulatory and corporate governance guidelines. The activists used a variety of tactics, including media campaigns, shareholder resolution, and proxy fight. Nobel was forced to make a number of changes, including appointing a new CEO, adopting a new code of conduct, and increasing transparency. While shareholder activism can be effective in improving corporate governance, it can also be disruptive to a company operation. In order to guard against shareholder activists, companies can take a number of steps, including adopting strong governance practice, engaging with shareholders, and increasing transparency. Thank you. So Durga will explain the case question 7.
Hi everyone. Case question 3. Explain whether you agree with Nobel board chairman's statement that accounting issues were a matter of judgment. Do you think that an accounting error had been made intentionally or otherwise in Nobel's case? For joint arrangements, explain how a company should determine the appropriate accounting treatment. Are there any reason why Nobel might be motivated to classify its joint arrangement as joint operation instead of joint venture initially? Answer. The Nobel board chairman said that accounting concerns were a matter of judgment, and the person believes that this is correct. Some speculate that Nobel was the victim of an accounting blunder. Whether deliberate or not, the person believes that a corporation should be responsible for determining the proper accounting approach for joint agreements. If so, does Nobel have any motivation to define its collaborative arrangements as joint operations rather than joint ventures at outset? It is the individual's knowledge that in general, accounting is a judgment call. Different person may look at the same information and get to different judgments about how the right accounting approach should be. Nobel may have been the victim of an accounting blunder, whether on purpose or by accident. As far as this person is concerned, there is no clear-cut answer as to what the arrangement should be characterized as. It's possible that Nobel is driven to characterize the cooperative arrangement as a joint operation rather than a joint venture for a variety of reasons. A joint venture could need greater information than a joint operation. As a result, Nobel may be inclined to withhold information in order to keep its rivals from learning about its joint ventures. The accounting treatment of joint arrangements must be carefully considered by firms. A choice should be made based on what it is best for their organization. After considering all the options, this kind of arrangements may be classified as either a joint operation or a joint venture depending on the circumstances. One size does not fit all in this situation.
That's all for our presentation. Thank you.